technically on 10th October, but because of our holidays, we are doing it a few days before. So, WHO celebrates World Mental Health Day every year on 10th October, and it has a separate theme every year. And this year, it has a very powerful theme, which is mental health at work. So we have planned a small event where we'll try to understand how we can bring in a process of self-healing and self-sustenance so that we can thrive and grow more. So well, all of us understand that mental health and work are very closely related, and a good working place can prevent a lot of mental health issues, and a toxic working place can actually contribute. Plus, workers are at risk of mental health at workplaces. So it's not like I'm carrying the stress from my home to the office. No, office can be the source of stress which I can carry to home. So it can be vice versa. And unfortunately, there is lack of support from people within the working community, which actually has a very big repercussion all around the world. There are around 12 billion work days each year which are wasted because people are not feeling well, they are suffering from anxiety, depression, productivity is less, and the stigma. No one, if you talk about if you tell someone, okay, I'm suffering from a lot of stress or depression, you're looked down, right, at a workplace. They'll be like, okay, maybe that person is not a good worker. So these are real issues which people are facing in the workplace. So what can we do? It's basically 4 things. Starting from where supporting workers and to help them participate and thrive at work. Workplace is not just for to come do your work and go. It is something which can nourish your personality. Then training managers. How many managers are actually trained in mental health? How many of them actually know what is the importance, what are the tools, how can we create supportive environment? Third, obviously, is a macroscopic view of having policies, regulations from government. But the last one and the most important one is taking care of your own mental health, because this is in your hands. Because we don't know how much time will the policy making take, what kind of environment we'll get. But what is in our hands is taking care of our own mental health. And how is the journey of mental health? Well, like any physical health, mental health also starts with a spectrum. You start from primary symptoms, then you move into the secondary part of the disease and the tertiary part of the disease. Well, for mental health it is same. There is a very thin line from being constantly burned out slowly day by day by day, and at the end the collapse happens. And the focus for us professionals is on primary and preventive mental health. How can I prevent being in that secondary and tertiary state which needs medication and hospitalization and psychiatric treatments? But before that, what can I do? How can I take care of my own health? By preventing it, and even if it is inevitable, all of us will have some primary mental health issues, whether it is stress, depression, feeling a little bit of bipolar. All these are inevitably going to come in our life, now or later. But how do I take care of myself and identify what is going on with me and in my body and my mind? And we need a wholesome ecosystem for that. And it starts with training and speaking about these issues with all of you. Because if you don't talk about it, it's all a hush-hush environment in the office. No one wants to talk about it, trying to keep it low. And it is just the tip of iceberg. So much more has to be explored. Because mental health is such a unique thing. For a cardiac surgery, a bypass surgery, it's a simple process, There's the same method to be followed for all the patients. Mental health is so unique. It is different for every individual. So it has to be customized. So it is something which has so many layers, and what we are exploring is just the tip of iceberg. And what is the need is to adapt with new evidence-based techniques, which are also linked with our traditional holistic therapy subjects. So, what we are looking at today is, in this event, is first understanding that primary and preventive mental health is not completely medication dependent. You don't have to just depend on medication to take care of small things. I'm not able to sleep better, or I'm having anxiety. Taking an anti-anxiety pill might be important sometimes, or sleeping pill might be important sometimes, but you are just taking care of the symptoms. What about the root cause? What's happening in the subconscious mind? And guidance from therapist. With the guidance from therapist, you need to understand, all of us need to understand the concept of self-awareness and analysis. Our mind has two layers, conscious and subconscious, and our subconscious mind is where the hidden fears and issues are stored. And identifying your own personality, a wrong person at a wrong job at a wrong place, is a recipe for disaster. What am I good for? What am I fit for? What is my personality? How will I adapt? How will I react? All that matters. So it's all about reaching our full potential and removing our blockages. So without wasting much time, I'll introduce our guest today. So the event is planned in this way, that we will have the first session dedicated to breathwork and hypnotherapy, and the second part of the session I will conduct small art therapy activity. So I would like to introduce Mr. Joshua Marcos Munoz, who is a good friend and a co-worker, and he is an ACHE certified clinical hypnotherapist and a breathwork facilitator. His areas of expertise are transpersonal psychology. Transpersonal psychology is, for those of you who don't know, it's like spiritual psychology, which talks about, you must have heard about the Maslow's triangle hierarchy of needs. So when you talk about self-actualization, transcendence, and he's also very much interested in Vedic psychology, which brings him to India for his further research. And he especially loves working among men who have addiction issues, and his methodology is more about group counseling and coaching. So I'll hand it over to him to start the session.
All right, hello, can you hear me? Okay, well thank you, Dr. Gunjan. It's a pleasure to be here at ASCI, and having been able to give a class on Zoom on what self-hypnosis is, and including now breath work, and being able to do this today is a pleasure, and I'm grateful for that. I come from California, Northern California, where I've studied at Sonoma State University, and a little bit about transpersonal psychology, and just the different cross-cultural social practices from around the world that are used to create better methods for growth and learning. So we'll move ahead, and first we're going to break up some sections, and we're going to talk about breath work, and we're going to have a few short little demonstrations and presentations that are very hands-on and in person. So I like to talk about stress management techniques, as we were talking about in the workplace, and one of those is breath work, and how it's used more commonly now in the past as what we may know as pranayama, has also influenced breath work in the West. And so we're going to be practicing here in a minute, counting our own breaths. So the average human breath is between 10, 12, 15 breaths a minute. And so we're going to count for ourselves how many breaths a minute we're breathing right now as a starter to our next breathing exercise that is an over-breathing pattern. So in breath work and in different schools of thought, there's the under-breathing pattern where you breathe less than your average breaths a minute, and then there's over-breathing patterns, which are about breathing more than your average breaths. And so first we're going to discover that for ourselves, and what I'll do is I'm going to put a timer on my watch, and we're going to put one hand on our chest, one hand on our belly, and I'm going to count for 1 minute, and you just simply count every time you inhale, That's one breath. So you can count that and see how many counts you have in 1 minute before we begin with our next breath work. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So start breathing and exhale and start counting 1 minute. And just breathe normally, just as if you were not paying attention. And I'll be holding for 1 minute. And this is a good exercise to know where your base rate, breaths per second, might be. So now we're passing 30 seconds. Keep counting, breathing normally. So it's something nice to know about oneself. Keep breathing normally, keep counting. And we're almost there to 1 minute. And we can stop right now. And you can count about how many breaths. And if you're anywhere between 12, 15, 18 breaths, that's normal. So what we're going to do next as well is try an over-breathing pattern. So there's two kind of breath work techniques that I like to teach. One of them is about energizing yourself and waking up and getting more alert, more present. And for that, we're going to do an over-breathing pattern. And in the next slide, we'll show, and we'll talk about one of my favorite over-breathing pattern teachers, Wim Hof, where he teaches how to breathe very deeply and then holding your breath and then exhaling and being able to learn how to control the energies in the body. So Wim Hof is an incredible personality. He's known to be able to withstand the cold and climb mountains like Mount Everest in his shorts, for example. So he teaches some meditation as well, and we're going to practice this over-breathing pattern technique next as an experience. And so this is a tool again to wake up, right? To be able to circulate more oxygen. So the next slide here will show the simple rules, and it's just 30 deep breaths. And then you exhale. So it's 30 of these. And on the last breath, you fully exhale. And then you hold. And so you hold as long as you can. It's not about measuring or competition. But then you hold it until you feel like you need to take another breath, and then slowly sip in for 10 or 15 seconds, and then that's one cycle. And so the Wim Hof method is using 30 breaths and then doing 3 cycles. So we'll just go ahead and practice and do one cycle here together. And so for 1 minute, well, I'll follow along. And so this is, again, a breathwork pattern if you're feeling you need to wake up. It's early in the morning, or you're in between classes and sessions, or you just need to, kind of like have a quick energy boost. So we're going to try that, and it's really simple. Again, you can just breathe. You fill up the belly, fill up the chest, and then let go. And we're going to count that 30 times, and then fully exhale, and then we're going to hold it. So we're going to count that. So we're going to start. Right now, we won't do this in or longer than a minute, so go ahead and we'll start with breath number 1. Take a nice deep breath. 1, 2, 3. So these are 30 breaths, so really can 7, 8. So it's gonna really gonna feel it More and more, you start feeling your body tingle a little bit. It's fine, it's normal. 9, 10, keep going. And so just find a nice rhythm to your body. 12, 13, 14. You're just about halfway there. And remember, just keep breathing nice and deeply in circular fashions. 16, 17, and 18. And remember, the last breath, we're going to hold out completely. 19. All right, last 10 breaths. Give it a nice deep breath. 21, 22, a little bit more, almost there. 23, 24. Remember the last breath, we're going to all the way out. 25, almost there, keep going. 26, you might feel a little lightheaded, but you're fine. 27, a couple more. 28, and go ahead and breathe out. 29, all the way out, and then hold your breath. Just listen to your body. And slowly begin to breathe in. 10 seconds, breathing in. And that's one round of the Wim Hof breathing session. So you do that again a couple more times, and you can just feel. Maybe you're more awake, more aware, also relaxed at the same time. So this is one of the breathing techniques that I would like to make you more aware, especially something that you can do anywhere in the workplace, right? And so if there's any questions on the overbreathing practice, you can take it now, or we can move on to another session where we're going to do the underbreathing practice as well. And so with the underbreathing practices, we're trying to breathe a little slower than we normally do. So you counted your own breaths, and so you have a rough estimate of how many beats a minute, or breaths a minute you take. So in this practice, we're going to go to the other end, and we're going to breathe a little slower, and we're going to practice what's called box breathing. And so we can go to the next slide. And in box breathing, it's really simple. It's basically you're holding your breath for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, breathing in for 4. So everything happens like a box. And in doing so, that breathing calms the nervous system by regulating the heart and the breathing patterns. And so this is if we're needing to feel more relaxed and we're having a long day, a hard work day, take a break from study and such. So this one we're going to do next here as well. And for 1 minute, we'll do this together, and then we'll just see what the difference is, right? So go ahead, nice position. And so for 1 minute, I'm just going to go ahead and follow along. So go ahead, take a nice deep breath. Exhale, and then one more deep breath. And for 1 minute, we'll inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. We hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we exhale, 1, 2. So continue by yourself, just 4 seconds in between, breathing holding and exhaling. It's very simple, very straightforward. Coming up on a minute. Keep breathing. And we can stop there and then just check in on yourself and notice how you feel. This is a practice that can be done anytime, anywhere, and you can continue it for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and the longer you do it, the more you'll get into a calmer state of mind, or activating what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. So that, I'd like to share, next slide, just overall, it's been studied, well studied, that these practices of breath work have helped reduce stress levels overall in between, especially difficult times in life, when social problems like family or just even life in general gets us down. So next slide, breath work and its benefits. The breath work, so the overbreathing practices, the benefits are it creates more oxygen, even breathing more deeply opens up the lungs, more circulation, and helps with anxiety. Can be done anywhere, right? So that the underbreathing can be done silently by yourself. And then the overbreathing can also be done once you learn the methodology, the Wim Hof method, and other breathing techniques that utilize music as well. I'm trained in what's also known as holotrophic breath work, or breathing practices that also use the overbreathing, but then music, and they create a journey, and it's kind of like the therapeutic aspect of that, and that can help promote over a long run, create a positive inner mood in your life. So using these tools over time can help you become more aware of what you're feeling, and then what you're feeling to express that so it doesn't bog you down as much. So next slide. We'll start talking about hypnotherapy. So these are the two main tools that I like to practice myself and to teach with others. And breathwork is one way of using the breath, the outside breath, to go into the mind, right, into the body. So to practice meditation and such. So hypnotherapy is actually just a state of mind that is focused, in a state of relaxation and a heightened sense of what's called suggestibility, or our ability to take in ideas, suggestions, new different ideas. And so as a hypnotherapist, I teach self-hypnosis, because all hypnosis is just self-hypnosis. And so it's something that I do with someone. And so in conjunction with breathwork, I would like to teach you a little bit about self-hypnosis as well. And hypnosis is a natural state of mind that we all enter in and out of throughout the day. Just waking up in the morning, we feel a little groggy, a little weak. That's kind of like hypnosis. And when we're daydreaming and we're thinking, when we're in our imagination, when we're watching, here's a good example, a really good movie, and 3 hours, just goes by and what felt like 1 hour or half an hour. So that's like hypnosis, you get really absorbed. And so using that ability that we all have, and then learning to dialogue with our own subconscious mind it can be a very powerful tool in order to check in, change different aspects of oneself. So hypnosis is a little less understood because in social media or in popular media such as films, hypnosis is something that I do to someone or somebody does to someone else, but it's something that you always do to yourself. So what it really does is it's what's called the default mode network, or the part of our mind that is the decision maker, that part of a conscious mind, the talk. That part, that's just lessened. It's like a flashlight, and it's just focused. And it allows the subconscious mind to bypass that chatter, that critical factor of our mind, right? And so once into hypnosis, you can use that ability to access your subconscious mind, which is the seat of your emotions, your imagination. All of your memories since you were a baby are in your subconscious mind. So being able to access that, and how you do that is by suggestion or making a story, using your imagination, a narrative. And so this is something we'll do together. The last section we will lay down or however, and we'll go through a self-hypnosis process so that you can learn to do that with yourself in the future. So speaking a little bit more on hypnosis as a state of mind, it's natural. We don't lose consciousness. You're always aware. You're always hearing everything that I'm saying. So hypnosis is a very natural state of mind. And you could just think about it like a guided meditation. And so it's been shown, even recently, more and more articles that hypnotherapy can help us reduce our stress and increase our ability to become more mindful in our lives. So we'll go ahead. I'll speak a little bit about my teacher, my mentor, Randall Churchill, and his books that help people use hypnosis and their tools to transform their lives. So not just things. Hypnotherapy is good for phobias and good for changing different aspects and more. And so this is my teacher, and Becoming the Dream is one of my favorite books. So we're going to go ahead and I'll talk a little bit more about what hypnotherapy has to offer. Maybe more after the slides. What is hypnotherapy? How can that help us in the workplace especially? Well, learning again to take this time. It's going to be like a 12-minute, 15-minute self-meditation or self-hypnosis session. So being able to practice this can lead you to having a more disciplined mind and being able to check in with yourself and know what you're feeling, so introspection. So we're going to go ahead and set up to do that. The next slide, we'll start to prepare the environment, and I'll have a music set playing in the background. That'll be a part of the self-hypnosis.
So you can choose if you want to lie down or if you want to sit. It's totally okay, whatever you feel comfortable in. You can also lie down, have some space. You can go to a yoga mat, and spread it and if you want, you can lie down. If you're comfortable, you can go ahead and lie down.
Yeah.
Totally okay. Feel comfortable, it's totally okay.
Yeah, you could be sitting up, laying down, it doesn't matter.
Or if you don't want to lie down, you can be sitting in a comfortable position. That is also fine. You need the lights to be a little lower.
Half of them, a little bit.
So it will take just 12 to 15 minutes. It will be a guided hypnotherapy session where you all have to be in your most comfortable position. The best recommended position is to lie down. So I can suggest you can, the people who have yoga mats, because if you're lying down, let's have some gap between two people, and then you can lie down in the same direction, all of you, if you're interested. So why don't you do one thing? See, there are a lot of people here, so you can have some gap. You can pull your yoga mat here out of the gap. Just have at least one arm gap between each other, and again your head and feet should not touch. So also look at the distance between when you're lying down and the other yoga mat. So people with yoga mats can actually take their mats out because you have mats, and those who don't have mat, they can use this rug.
Yeah, I'll use that mic.
Yeah, this is more nice.
Yeah. in the music. Music.
It's playing. Pause it. Volume 35, right? Yes.
Little less.
30?
Yeah, like 30.
This mic is more strong.
Okay, good. That's fine.
So feel comfortable. We'll lower down the lights a little. And you can all lie down slowly. Just see you don't touch anyone else's head or feet. So just have minimum gap that is required. You can come this side. Yeah, you can put your foot here. Bring it here. Everyone is comfortable? You have enough space? Okay. Can we have few lights down, please? And for the people who are sitting in the chair, you can relax back. Mostly this will be done with closed eyes. Just sit comfortably, relax back. You can take your head back on the support of the chair and just follow the instructions which will be given.
That's fine. I'll do this. Okay. So we'll begin here soon. Just make yourself comfortable. And we'll begin. So you can start by becoming aware of your whole body and begin to relax with every breath you take. And very simply, we're going to relax the top of the head down to the toes. Really simply. Every muscle relaxing one by one. And we're going to go for a 10-minute journey into our inner garden, where you get to create your own inner perfect garden for yourself as a starting point to any self-hypnosis that you want to continue to do into the future. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath and let go of all the muscles on top of your head and your forehead, and to simply begin to relax all the muscles around your head, and your ears, and your neck, and your jaw. And using your vivid imagination, begin to see your muscles relax down your shoulders, the forearms, elbows. And very simply just seeing your muscles relax more and more down your body, your back, all your shoulders, your hands, your fingertips relax. And you can just see more and more your hips, your thighs. Feel the ground beneath you just supporting you. And with every easy breath, relaxing the knees and the shins. And the feet. And so, as a part of what helps self-hypnosis is about, includes being very relaxed. And so notice that relaxing feeling and begin to increase it more and more with every easy breath that you take. So using now this relaxed state of mind, just like this, very simply, you can start to visualize your own inner garden. And it can be this perfect inner garden that's exactly how you like it. And there's going to be a bench in this garden. So we're going to count from 10 down to 1. And the closer we get to 1, and the closer and closer to that bench in your own private garden, your own personal private garden. So I'm going to count from 10 down to 1, and you can start to see all your favorite flowers. 10, 9, 8. Seeing all your favorite colors, all your favorite insects. The day is just beautiful. All your favorite trees. 8, 7, 6. With every number you can see the walkway, the walkers, the stones, the pavement. 5, 4. Closer and closer, and you can see your own bench. It's going to be your own private bench where you get to sit down in your own quiet garden. 4, 3, just about to sit down. 2, and 1. And so you can do this again and again and count 10, 9, 8. You can be there right now in your own inner garden where you have all your favorite flowers like roses and jasmine or marigolds. And this is your own private inner garden that you can return to whenever you want. And again, counting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And there in those own perfect inner garden, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And take a picture of this garden exactly as it is. Because you can always come back to this garden whenever you want, whenever you need to. And as a part of this exercise, we're also going to walk a little bit and around in the garden. And using our imagination, we connect with our own inner guide. And you begin to feel the presence of somebody else nearby. Somebody who represents wisdom, a teacher, somebody who you really respect in this garden. So I'll count from 5 down to 1 and we'll go ahead and meet this person. This person has a gift for you. You can go ahead and receive this gift. So we'll go ahead and walk to this person. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And so in your own inner garden, speaking to this teacher who has a lot of wisdom for you, has a gift for you. Go ahead and receive that gift. Being surrounded in your own favorite garden, totally peaceful, totally relaxed. And that person giving you that gift of wisdom, bring it back with you. Saying goodbye for now, bringing back this gift of wisdom back to your own favorite bench in the middle of the garden. I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and you're going to go back to that bench and sit down with your gift. Coming back, 1, 2, and 3, coming back. Thanking so much that person for the wisdom, teaching, for the gift. So bringing that gift back to you. Bench 3, 2, and 1. And so self-hypnosis is about creating an inner world where you can navigate your own subconscious mind and create places for deep restoration and peace. So becoming more and more comfortable and aware of this inner garden, all your favorite flowers and your insects, the weather's just nice, the green trees, the lawn, everything's exactly how you like it the most. And remember, you can always come back to this spot whenever you want, wherever you are, this inner garden of yours. Just simply count from 10 down to 1 and begin to see the garden more and more. So bringing back this whole experience back with you. Now that you have created your own inner garden, you always have this place to come back to whenever you want. So bringing back this whole experience back with you. Bring back to the present, to the here and now. We're going to remember everything and use it with us into the future. So we're going to begin to wake up more and more. I'm going to count from 1 to 10. With every number that I count from 1 to 10, we're going to become more awake, more aware, more alive, feeling refreshed and present and re-energized. So getting ready, coming back out of your garden, 1, 2, and 3, start taking those steps out. There's a small gate. You can just go ahead and open that gate as you walk towards it. 3, 4, 5. Start to wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands. Bring back this whole experience of your own inner garden back with you. Becoming more awake and aware with every breath. 4, 5, and 6. Coming back now. Remembering everything you just experienced. Knowing full well you can return whenever you want. 6, 7, 8, 9. Getting ready to wake up. Be awake and aware and ready to move forward with our new tools. 9 and 10. Go ahead and start to come back to the here and now. Take your time and just notice how good you may feel in this very short self-hypnosis meditation and practice. Put on the slide. Hello, okay. So that was a shortened example of what self-hypnosis can look like. And hypnotherapy, it's just utilizing that state of mind, right? A really relaxed, absorbed, concentrated state of mind, and being able to use your imagination, right? Your imagination, and to create a setting that allows for you to be in control of yourself, right? And with these power tools that I like to call power tools of the mind, I also help teach more and more self-hypnosis tools and breathing techniques that can help create a more balanced life situation, especially in the workplace. And we can, if there's any questions or any other comments that anybody would come up with, this pretty much concludes it here soon enough. We want to be able to learn how to use these tools, the over-breathing or under-breathing tools, or even hypnosis and hypnotherapy, to become our own therapists, to use these tools so that we can continue to grow with the help of others and without and the help of ourselves. So those are some tools and thoughts, and that'll end this section. And Dr. Gunjan will take away for the rest.
Thank you so much, Joshua. So we are now in the last part of the event. So I'll now try to explain what happened to all of us. As I was speaking about the conscious and the subconscious part of brain, our subconscious part of the brain is very powerful side. Our conscious mind is mostly busy with analytical work. Our brain has right and left, right? Has a creative, intuitive aspect to it, and our brain has analytical aspect to it. Mostly when we are doing a lot of analysis in our day-to-day work, we are all trained to do analysis. To be true, we have been brought up like that since our childhood. Study, analyze, bring out solutions from analysis, right? So we are so good at using our analytical brain that we have stopped using our creative, intuitive side of the brain. Most of the answer to our problems are deep down there in our subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is so powerful that it has all the memories, all the learning, all the teachings, right from the point when you were a baby. It has all the information. Imagine the number of books, classes, people, wisdom that you have collected. You know the right answer, but it doesn't come to us because we have stopped understanding our subconscious mind. We don't travel there anymore. So what happens is the waves, brain has certain waves, alpha, beta, theta. So these kind of practices brings us closer to that state of consciousness where we can start tapping the unconscious brain. So what we did was a small example. And now subconscious brain will bring up a lot of suggestions, lot of ideas, innovative thinking, creative thinking. How can I handle my problem? How can I regulate my emotion? What is in my control? So this is something like becoming your own therapist. So what we'll do is we'll conclude this entire experience with a art therapy session, a small art therapy practice. So first I will just distribute the stationery among everyone, and then I'll give you the suggestions of what we can do next, okay? Just give me 5 minutes.